Dear sisters and brothers, the elites are exploiting us. We are being looted by a network of very powerful people and institutions. Although these elites are a small minority of the population, they can manage to enslave all of us, because they use a series of techniques to keep the population distracted, divided, and confronted with each other. So in this video, we will see 5 of the many strategies the ruling classes use to avoid the masses to rise up against them. I hope that by the end of the video, the viewer will be a little bit more awakened, and less manipulable by the tricks of the elites.
Is that a gang sign? Have you,
Oh, like you don't know what it is. You don't know what that is.
I have no idea.
Oh, you don't know. Jimmy Fallon doesn't know. David Letterman doesn't know.
We don't know.
All the comics and show business don't know what this is. Right? Yeah.
What is it?
Come on, Jimmy. Seriously, the time is up. People are hip to this kind of stuff. I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower. I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it, and it is the all-mocking tongue.
Oh, I like it. It needs a scraping.
It's the symbol of the all-mocking tongue. And I'm sick of it. I want everybody to be in on the joke, man. You know what I mean? Like, for years now, talk show hosts, people on television, people in sitcoms have been hired by the government to throw you off the track, to distract you, to make you laugh and stuff like that, make you happy and docile so you don't know what's really going on. You know? And they get out there in the woods in a circle naked and they decide these things. And, you know, and you know, look at him trying to come it out. It's hilarious, hilarious. And, you know, and I'm sick of, hold on a second. You know what they're trying to do?
Who?
This thing is buzzing, hold on. They're trying to turn us into, you know, consumer drones of some sort.
1. When things go bad, one of the common tools employed by the elites to keep the attention of the masses focused somewhere else, it's to use the media to talk about corrupt and idiotic politicians, to make the people believe that the root of the problem is their ineptitude. However, politicians are just replaceable puppets, put in power to be used as scapegoats when the things go bad, and the truth is that the real rulers of our nations are the powerful financial elites that pull the strings hidden behind the political arena in the United States and many other countries that have been looted by the bankers. The media is always talking about corrupt politicians and stupid things they say, so that the masses focus their anger against them, and not towards the bankers that created the crisis, that have impoverished all of us. We get angry with the puppets. We kick them out from power, but the puppeteers always remain intact, away from the public attention, and ready to manipulate the next puppets the masses will vote. As Meyer Rothschild said once, "Let me issue and control a nation's money, and I care not who writes the laws." So please, be aware of this technique. Remember, as soon as you are talking about politicians, ignoring the role of the bankers, you have already been fooled, since you are placing your anger against the puppets, and not against the true masters of your life.
Those people who are in charge of things in this country, the owners, forget these foolish elections, the owners of this country don't care about the poor in general.
The owners of this country, what are we going... What, is this Karl Marx talking to me? The owners of this country are the voters of this country.
You're wrong about that, my friend.
Aren't the owners of this country the voters in this country who elected George Bush?
No, they're not. Listen, politics, these elections are a charade. It is a charade.
Oh, okay.
It is, they are meant to... Well, I'll tell you, listen, just listen for a minute. Learn a little something. The elections and politicians are in place in order to give Americans the illusion that they have freedom of choice. You don't really have choice in this country.
2. Another thing the elites do in times of crisis is to use the media to demonize part of the population and to dehumanize minority groups. The media will run lots of stories and headlines full of hatred towards other people, and the goal of that will be to direct the anger of the population towards a certain group of people, to ensure that nobody pays attention to the elites, the real culprits of our misery. That's the technique known as divide and conquer. The elites, through propaganda and lies, implant hatred and anger in our minds towards other human beings, to keep us fighting with each other, so that they can keep enslaving all of us. So please, be aware of this technique used by the elites. The problems your country and your family have are not caused by other poor human beings that come from somewhere else. They arise from the bankers that, hidden from the focus of public attention, are enslaving all of us.
Now, to balance the scale, I'd like to talk about some things that bring us together. Things that point out our similarities instead of our differences. Because that's all you ever hear about in this country is our differences. That's all the media and the politicians are ever talking about, the things that separate us, things that make us different from one another. That's the way the ruling class operates in any society. They try to divide the rest of the people. They keep the lower and the middle classes fighting with each other so that they, the rich, can run off with all the fucking money. Fairly simple thing, happens to work. You know, anything different, that's what they're going to talk about. Race, religion, ethnic and national background, jobs, income, education, social status, sexuality, anything you can do, keep us fighting with each other so that they can keep going to the bank.
Seriously, if you hate immigrants, or other ethnic or social groups, you have been brainwashed. It's time for you to switch off the TV and start reading books.
Be careful! There are immigrants! Oh, why are they so worried about immigrants? An immigrant is just someone who used to be somewhere else. Hey, have you always been there? No, I was over there for a while. Ah!
3. In times of crisis, another thing the elites will do, which is part of the strategy divide and conquer, is to pass outrageous and controversial laws that have nothing to do with the real problems of the economy. They will bring to political debates sensitive and ideological issues, which will keep the population divided and confronted, and most important, distracted from the issues that really matter, and that could pose a threat for the elites. We have seen how recently this strategy have been used in many countries looted by the bankers, where the governments have proposed anti-abortion laws, and many other ideological proposals, just to keep the public's attention away from the New World Order elites. So be careful, people. Don't fall into the trap and engage into these ideological fights with your fellow human beings, since this will distract you from your real enemies, the greedy elites that are enslaving you.
We need to understand that we have been artificially divided for far too long. The global elites have divided us into Democrat and Republican, left and right, conservative and liberal. They have divided us with hot button issues like abortion and gay rights and gun control and prayer in schools. And by doing so, they have given us, the electorate, the illusion that we have a choice, when in reality, both the Republican and Democratic parties are owned by the same global elites. And on issues that matter to those global elites, they act as one.
4. Another tool employed by the elites to keep the masses under control is to use the media to distract the people with irrelevant issues that means nothing in the entire scheme of the world. The banksters use the media to bring the public debates towards topics that don't pose a threat for them. For example, we've seen this techniques used recently with Donald Trump. The elites have achieved to focus the attention of the entire world towards the idiotic words that a person have said. But what the fuck does it matter whether Trump has farted in the White House in a time where 300,000 liters of radioactive water are being poured into the sea every day? Who cares about the words that a rude person said, when we live in a world where 22,000 kids die of poverty every day? Who cares about the private behavior of a man, in a world where the corporations are destroying our planet and the livelihood of billions of us? Why do we talk about a man who hasn't paid his taxes, but not about the bankers? that have created a system that allow millions of rich men to evade paying their taxes? Don't you see that there are more urgent problems to care about in our lives? Don't you realize that all the issues discussed on the TV are totally unimportant? Can't you see yet that the goal of the news is to keep you worried about insignificant issues? How much destroyed have to be the world before you start looking at it? Can't you see that while you talk about Trump, the world is falling apart? So please, dear brothers and sisters, be aware of this distraction maneuver used by the ruling classes. They will use the mainstream media to keep your attention focused on unimportant things, so that you never pay attention to the problems that really matter, which benefits the elites so much. 5. Finally, another tool used by the elites in times of crisis to manage the anger of the masses is to propose solutions, to pretend that something is being done to fix the problem. However, all the remedies that are put forward are useless and don't put an end to the looting machine of the elites. For example, recently, we have seen how politicians talk about building walls, about seceding from European Union or United States, about banning immigrants, etc. But the truth is that none of these solutions are addressing the problems that really matter. Can't you see, people, that until we regulate the financial system, nothing will change? So please, dear sisters and brothers, stop putting your faith in politicians, unless they defy the banking elites, like Kennedy did. No walls, no Brexits, no wars, no ban to immigrants, nor anti-terrorist laws are going to make the world any better. So, don't get fooled by the fake solutions that the politicians bring forward. Nothing can change unless we get rid of the banking elites and their financial tricks.
Good. But what I'm saying is that within the existing paradigm, the change is not dramatic enough, not radical enough. So you can well understand public disturbances and public dissatisfaction when there are not genuine changes and genuine alternatives being offered. I say when there is a genuine alternative, a genuine option, then vote for that. But until then, don't bother. Why pretend? Why be complicit in this ridiculous illusion?
Because by the time somebody comes along you might think it worth voting for, it may be too late.
I don't think so, because the time is now. These movements are already occurring. It's happening everywhere. We're in a time where communication is instantaneous, and there are communities all over the world. The Occupy movement made a difference, even if only in that it introduced to the popular public lexicon the idea of the 1% versus the 99%. People for the first time in a generation are aware of massive corporate and economic exploitation. These things are not nonsense, and these subjects are not being addressed. No one's doing anything about tax havens. No one's doing anything about their political affiliations and financial affiliations of the Conservative Party. So until people start addressing things that are actually real, why wouldn't I be facetious? Why would I take it seriously? Why would I encourage a constituency of young people that are absolutely indifferent to vote? Why would we? Aren't you bored? Aren't you more bored than anyone? Ain't you been talking to them year after year, listening to their lies, their nonsense? Then it's this one gets in, then it's that one gets in, but this problem continues. Why are we going to continue to contribute to this facade?
So, as we have seen, dear sisters and brothers, if we can be exploited by the ruling classes, it's because they use a wide variety of techniques to give us the illusion of choice, and to keep us distracted and confronted with each other. And unless the masses become aware of the weapons the elites use to manipulate us, the world is not going to get any better. So please, Help to enlighten those around you. Help to spread videos that contain truth, and let's work together to make this world a better place. We are anonymous, and we are fighting for freedom, and for a better world. We do not forgive, and we do not forget, so expect us.
Greetings world. We are anonymous.